phrase them for credit decisions. In essence, we use AI for credit decisioning. So what it means is that someone that is financially excluded can come to our platform. Within 3 minutes, he opens an account and very shortly is able to access credit. Of course, those credits are small amounts from in the neighborhood of $100,000, $100. What you see that is having an impact. The impact you see that has on the economy is that they're able to go into cottage industry, they do small businesses. We also work with a lot of the low-income earners that are salary earners. So where we have pre-profiled their employers. So we have some arrangement where we're able to, as you approach us with technology and access to data, we're able to instantly profile who that customer is, and then it goes through our journey and we're able to keep disbursements. In between that, we provide other services within the financial services, within the financial industry that will be of benefits to them. So we're exploring a lot of other things too. How we can fuse in insurance into some of those digital lending services that we provide.
All right, pretty clear. Thank you very much. Well, I had originally another round of questions for my panelists, but we're short on time. I think it's the right one to ask the audience. Do you have any questions for our panelists today?
Can we take a couple of questions? Oh, the back, right. So
on the back, all right.
I would really appreciate the gentleman coming half the way. Here you go, sir.
Right, thank you. My name is Kule Siaka. I work for 9PSB. One of the leading payment service banks in Nigeria. My question is to Mr. Bremo, and this is to give us further information on what the future of financial inclusion looks like in Nigeria in the next couple of, as a major player in the industry. What do you think is the future of financial inclusion in Nigeria in the next couple of years? The next 4-5 years.
I wish I had a crystal ball. I think that we need to redefine financial inclusion to start with. When you say, are people actually financially excluded? There's really no village in Nigeria that you go into that you won't find a financial system that works for them. You probably have somebody in that community who collects money and lends money within those communities. So trust is a function. It's extremely important for financial inclusion to take place. So, and I will give an example. Take an agricultural community. Why should they open a bank account? Why should a farmer open a bank account? What value are you bringing to him? People also want value. So to be able to achieve financial inclusion, we must redefine and we set value. So if you take an agricultural community, what are their pain points? They want assurance if they have injuries on the farm, whether a snake bite or a scorpion bite or a cutlass swings by mistake, So if you go to the agriculture and say, look, adopt GAP, that is good agronomic practices. So in which case you are buying everything, fertilizers, seeds, and things that you need. It comes with maybe free medical care. That could be an incentive for the farmer to open an account. So it's value that's going to redefine how financial inclusion is achieved, not so much of trying to get people to open an account. So we need to tailor products that are community specific, addressing pain points. That's the only achieving. But just to want people to open an account, I don't think that we're going to make much progress. You see, we started this in 2010 and we were trying to achieve 80% in 2020, we were still at 64%. And that's because we need to change the mindset about how we do financial inclusion.
All right. I think we have another question.
We have a question by Dr. Silva.
Yeah, thank you. I think initially I didn't introduce myself. I'm currently the Director of Payment System at Bank of Ghana. I established the Payment System Department in Ghana since 2015, and I've led that revolution until we divided the department, and then we have a fintech office now. I think the definition of financial inclusion is not in doubt. When we say financial inclusion, we want to move our people from the informal sector so that they can also have a voice. They can also have a chance, for example, to have access to health, to have access to pension, to have access to investment, and they can plan for their future. Now, what we define by account, we are not talking about bank account. What we mean is that any appropriate vehicle, it can be mobile money, it can be any form that can bring our people to the. When we leave majority of our people in the informal sector, poverty will deepen. Most of them, especially if we take our peasant farmers in the rural areas, don't have access to any of the financial services, whether mobile money or the banking sector. And when I mean services, I mean we can create vehicle for the informal sector to also have pension and any means to move them from the informality to the formal sector. That is financial inclusion. And if you see the presentation made by our colleague from HPS, one of the reasons why poverty is deepening in Africa is the high informality. So payment globally has been seen as a catalyst for transformation of our people. And what we need to do, and I think the topic for today, is how can we leverage existing technologies and existing developments to foster financial inclusion strategy so that we can achieve the global call for inclusive finance. The global partnership by the G24, the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, the World Bank agenda to move people from the informal sector to the formal sector. Overall objective is to reduce poverty in Africa. And yes, if you look at development in Africa, we didn't go through by developing our banking sector, which started from Kenya. If you look at the graph that was shown, the South Africa financial inclusion, I think the first presenter, which was a very good point that he highlighted, South Africa mobile money failed or didn't develop because they already have a well-developed financial system. They developed their banking sector, so they didn't need mobile money. So anything that you go and do in South Africa in terms of mobile money, it will not succeed like Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, because our financial system were poorly developed. So what Kenya did nicely was to leverage on preparation of mobile money technology to give a voice to the voiceless. So you go to Kenya, you come to Nigeria, you come to Ghana, you go to Senegal. That was shown even by way of development. You see our people using mobile money. A lot of people who haven't been to school, we are not talking about financial education means that you have access to bank. They have this feature phone, or which they call not smartphone, and they do mobile money. How can we provide solutions so these ordinary people can also plan their life by getting to a pension? We have seen that, for example, in Ghana, EcoBank, our friend from EcoBank, this morning, has also highlighted. And EcoBank, one of the another innovative thing they did in Ghana was to give the voiceless people the opportunity to also purchase government debt. And by purchasing government debt through feature phone or smartphone, through USD, people are able now to save. A lot of these guys have never even saved, have never even bought government debt before, as low as $1. So the definition of financial inclusion is not in doubt globally. So what we need to do as Africans, those of us who have the opportunity, is how do we bring our colleagues, opportunity we have got, to bring them to the formal system, and it's not bank issue that we are talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I just make a comment also that What I've said is not different from what you have said. What I'm saying is that the strategy for Africa cannot be the same as the rest of the world, where Africans must develop solutions that work for us. We've tried it for 10 years, it hasn't worked, so we need to start thinking differently. We need a paradigm shift mentality on this financial inclusion matter. We must sell value, not just accounts. It's value that we onboard them, and I think that's the strategy we need to adopt.
John, we have one person asking 2 questions, but it has to be short and crisp. Dr. Setor, you have a panel later on in the afternoon, so we will give you ample time to speak, sir. Definitely. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Ekena Jai. So I have 2 questions. One is to Ufoma and I think Oluwafemi. You give out loans. How has the repayment process been, and has it affected?
Just higher, please.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So you give loans out. How has the repayment process been, and has it affected the financial inclusion for you guys? That's one. Then 2, a lot of times I've noticed that when we talk about financial inclusion, we dwell so much on the banks and without necessarily touching on insurance, which I feel is very critical when it comes to financial inclusion. So I don't know, anybody can address that question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Let me take the first question. Yeah, so like I said when I started, I said we give loans, we give equity investment, as well as we support with capacity building. We focus both the bulk of our portfolio is in financial inclusion, so which means that fintech, microfinance institution, and SME banks are priority because it's a priority sector and it impacts, right? So basically, the experience has been good, I will tell you, because in Nigeria we started 2010 and a difficult environment, no doubt, but it's been good, and we've been seeing impact because Oiko Credit is a social impact investor. So we are very mindful of the impact that we create. Over the years, we have noticed, especially for fintech, the small institutions and startups, right? We tend to advise rather than go for debt.